much. Rhetoric's over the top. You know, how many more times are we going to hear Nazi, fascist, racist, and all this nonsense? Disagree. Don't be that disagreeable. Get rid of the rage and the hate, and because unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are unstable.
The entire Democrat Party has made their pitch to voters across the country that Donald Trump poses an existential threat to democracy, that he is a fascist, and that they compare him to Hitler. I mean, these are despicable statements that the American people have been consuming for years. And so many mentally perturbed individuals are led to believe these words are truth.
Critics may point to what you said in the State of the State last year when you compared the Trump administration to the rise of Nazis. What would you say to that?
I think over the last year, much of what I said has been proven to be true.
Saying such as Rep. Hakeem Jeffries just this month, said, "We are in an era of maximum warfare everywhere all the time." Governor Josh Shapiro said heads need to roll within the administration. Senator Alex Padilla said people are, quote, dying because of fear and terror caused by the Trump administration. Senator Elizabeth Warren, President Trump is making the country look like a, quote, fascist state.
So the fake news is having perhaps the biggest coping session that I think I've ever seen. They're shocked and stunned at this assassination attempt, the fourth one, by the way. A lot of people think it's a third. It's actually the fourth one. A lot of people don't know about the third one at Mar-a-Lago, but they're stunned that the president and others are blaming the fake news for their rhetoric and Democrat politicians for their rhetoric, even though it's so easy to do. There's so much evidence. These people do it every day. And a lot of people have sworn that they're not going to tone things down. They're just saying, well, no, Trump needs to tone it down. Guys, it's childish. That's what kids, no, you need to tone it down. Who's getting shot at? I didn't see Kamala Harris and Joe Biden out here getting shot at their events. Charlie Kirk got killed. Trump's been shot at multiple times, but you know, these people refuse to budge on it. They're even calling it staged and all of this stupid stuff. And Don Lemon over here is absolutely crashing out, acting like a little girl. Let's go ahead and react to it. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos. So be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
Words have consequences. Rhetoric really matters, and I believe that genuinely across the board. And that's not a one-sided principle. It applies to everyone. But I cannot say with a straight face, and nobody can say that with a straight face in the world that we live in right now, that Democrats saying Trump is terrible for this country is the same thing as Donald Trump standing in front of a crowd on January 6th and telling them to march to the Capitol and fight like hell. I cannot say those things are equivalent because they...
Peacefully and patriotically.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Let's continue.
They're not. I am so sick of false equivalence. It drives me fucking crazy. Because that is bullshit. Because these things are not equivalent. Words have consequences.
This dude, in my view, when you still talking about January 6th, you already lost the argument. A lot of people, because, you know, a lot of people lose track of time. But guys, January 6th was literally 5 years ago. And he said to go peacefully and patriotically. Okay. Like the Democrats say all sorts of stuff like fight like hell. They literally have compilation videos of the Democrats speaking on fighting and aggression and making sure that Republicans have no peace.
He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
But Don Lemonade doesn't care about any of that. Like the Democrats have been saying stuff like this recently. Even people that are reporters, this compilation here has reporters saying this, not just politicians. So Lemonade has no leg to stand on.
You said, quote, "I've drunk deeply of the venom of both the left and the right. As a connoisseur, I can confirm that the most poisonous, the bitterest, is from the far left."
And the difference is, I mean, the right would say really rough things and names. You know, some names I won't repeat on TV, but the on the left, it was like they want me to die, or that we're cheering for your next stroke, or that's terrible that depression won. Why couldn't it depression won? And I hope your kids find you. I mean, they even have like the graphic, a GIF where they have like a stroke, in your head, cheering at that. Yeah, and they said that. I remember one. They claimed, "Oh, the doctor let us down, and why did they have to save his life?" I mean, just really, like, I just can't imagine. People are wishing, I wish he dies, or I want him to die. Literally cheering for a stroke. And I don't know what the kind of a place where that comes from. I mean, that's much different than just calling me a name. That's really been consistent.
But guys, Fake Tapper is coping as well, because for those of you guys who saw the clip with Carrie Lake, handing this dude his booty on a silver platter, he's out here coping, talking about, oh, it's not our fault and it's not the media's fault. We're just criticizing the president. They're basically calling him all of these ridiculous names up to just criticizing him.
It is a big problem of calls for violence and dehumanization, and it's getting worse. But it is not a problem to be wielded like a cudgel to try to stop journalism or jokes. Journalism and jokes are not calls for violence. Calls for violence are calls for violence. Carrie Lake, the election denier who's currently in charge of Voice of America, she approached a CNN table after the shooting and blamed journalists for the attempted attack and personally insulted one of our correspondents as a, quote, midget. She then went outside and trailed me for about a block. I was trying to ignore her. She was saying that I was responsible for what happened, CNN's responsible for what happened, and that unhinged rant by someone who, frankly, obviously needs help, is now being matched with social media posts and more from the White House trying to use this horrific tragedy to demonize any criticism as calls for violence.
This has got to be some of the most disingenuous. This is why they have no credibility, guys. You have people calling the president a Nazi, fascist, dictator. They call him Hitler. They say that he's a racist, homophobe, bigot, white supremacist. I mean, anything imaginable. And heaven forbid you support him. I'm not even going to talk about all the things that I've been called for supporting him. So these people don't have a leg to stand on. Like, imagine saying, well, we know that maybe we have said some bad stuff, but this guy says worse stuff. Guys, that doesn't work. Like, how are you contending to be better than somebody if you're doing the same behavior, arguably worse? How many people, again, have been shooting at Kamala Harris again? Let me know. How many assassination attempts was there? Oh, well, she wasn't a president. Okay. Well, how many people were shooting at Joe Biden? How many assassination attempts? How many near misses where the bullet hits his ear? How many times did this happen? Even going further back with Obama, none of this stuff happened. He was president for freaking 8 years, if I could do my numbers right, 8 years. And they're trying to act like there's some sort of equivalency here. There's been multiple attempts. This guy Manifesto said he was going to kill any cabinet members he could except for Kash Patel for some reason, which I think is a little weird, but that's an aside. So, guys, I'm really not trying to hear it. There's no equivalency because the assassination attempts have been coming against Trump. We all know that some of these people have TDS. I know that there was some Obama derangement and, there's always some level of derangement for every president, but it's never been like this.
Be nice people get rid of a threat to the country and democracy all the time. Sean, I don't have enough time to list it. And you know this. And you're right. People speak about him in a way.
It's funny, Chris, because all the assassination attempts seem to go in one direction.
He's in power.
Right? It's Charlie Kirk, it's Donald Trump 3 times, it's Steve Scalise.
He's in power.
You know notice that every one of these people in the Trump administration needs a security deal? Staff. No other press secretary in history, except for those who served Donald Trump, needed a Secret Service detail.
You never have people just screaming at the top of their lungs. People shaving their heads, talking about they're going abstinent because they don't want people to comfort their uteruses and make it where they can't get abortions. Like, these people are crazy, guys. Saying it's going to be an abortion ban. Women are going to lose their rights. People are going to be put in camps. We're going to cancel out elections. There's not going to be any more elections. All of it falls. Women are still getting abortions. There's no camps. The economy's fine. Women still have their rights to vote. Those cackling hens on The View still talking and cluck, 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 every freaking day. Everything they said was a lie, guys. When are people going to realize this? All of the stuff that this pathetic loser criminal said in his manifesto, where he said Trump was a rapist, pedo, all of this stuff. It was all a bunch of nonsense, all false statements, and people on the news and Democrat politicians repeat it over and over and over again, and they're swearing that they're not going to stop. You know what that means? That means it's going to be more assassination attempts. That's all that means. As soon as they say, oh, we feel like it's true. Okay, well, these people are going to keep going. So when the president, heaven forbid, is actually hit, maybe doesn't make it, or maybe some members of his cabinet or something hit. Caroline Leavitt was with him. One of these women could get killed too. Or multiple of them, maybe all of them. You never know. These people will have the blood on their hands. God's going to be coming for them, 100%. But these are my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out. Shout out to my members, patrons, and fellow anomalies. Cyber Noodle, 655, The Great, Bella Scott, Carpentier John, and Pinecone 6. I appreciate you guys every single day.
I do think that the hate speech of the Democrats, much more so, is very dangerous. I really think it's very dangerous to the country.